Hi everyone, Angela here. I want to thank Echidna Sewing for sending me the Juki TL-2010Q sewing machine. It's a compact, high-performance, straight stitch only machine. It's great if you need more power and speed, but you don't want a full-size industrial machine. Inside the box, you'll also find a dust cover with an opening at the top for the handle, the inspection and warranty certificates along with the instruction manual, the foot controller with pads and the plug on the bottom, push forward to run the machine, and heel back to automatically trim the thread, a knee lifter lever, a power cord. There's also an auxiliary table giving you a bigger work surface. It has measurements along the front and an access door to the bobbin. Underneath there are 6 legs so that it's nice and stable, and there's also storage for the knee lifter. Inside the plastic bag, we have an exclusive screwdriver, a small screwdriver, a cleaning brush, metal bobbins, a small bottle of machine oil, a package of needles, a spool cap, a rolled hem foot, a zipper attaching foot, an upper feed presser foot or a walking foot, a compensating presser foot, a 1/4 inch quilting foot, and also a 1/5 inch quilting foot. This machine has a solid metal base and frame and weighs about 11.5 kilos or 25 pounds. You can find the link for this machine down in the description. Make sure to use coupon code NOTCHESJUKI to receive a wonderful bonus gift that I'll talk about at the end of this video. On the bottom, the feet have suction cups on them to keep the machine from moving around. On the back, 2 spool pins, a bobbin winder guide, the presser foot lifting lever, and the handle. On the right side, we have the hand wheel, the power switch, the inlet for the power cord, and the inlet for the foot control. A light comes on when you switch on the power. You can adjust the stitch dial from 0 to 6 millimeters. It has a solid, clicky feel to it. Push this button for the needle to go up and down, and if you keep your finger on it, it'll do a slow, continuous stitch. Cut the thread with this button and push this lever down to stitch in reverse. Use this knob to drop the feed dogs for free motion quilting. There's also a speed control knob. On the other side is the faceplate cover that you can open up, and you can see a bit of the metal body of this machine. On the back of the cover is the manual thread cutter. At the top here is the pressure regulator for the presser foot, and you can see the blue indicator moving as you turn it. This is the sub-tension knob, and down here is the thread tension dial. Both have metal tension discs. Here we have the slide plate and the throat plate and the sewing guidelines in inches and millimeters. This is the needle bar thread hook, the screw for the presser foot, the needle threader lever, the needle clamp, the needle, and down here we have the feed dogs. This hole in front is where you insert the knee lifter. This allows you to lift and lower the presser foot without releasing your hands from the fabric being sewn. There's little pads on the inner edge of the extension table so that it fits nice and snug around the machine. You can also adjust the height of the legs so everything sits nice and level. Again, this little door allows easy access to the bobbin. With the needle up, open up the slide plate, pull out that center latch to take out the bobbin case. When the latch is open, it holds the bobbin in place. Just snap it back in to release it. Raise the support guide fully and adjust the thread guide so that they're right above the spool pins. This pin has an anti-vibration cone. Place larger spools of thread on it and then thread over the top guide, or use smaller spools of thread with the cap on top. To wind a bobbin, first start by threading through the hole of the bobbin winder guide and then up and around between the 2 discs. Next, pass it through the hole of the bobbin, Then on the other side, place this opening on top of this little bit that's sticking out from the winding shaft. Hold on to the thread, push in the bobbin presser, push down on the foot control to start winding a bit, trim off the excess thread, and continue winding. Wind as much as you need or until it's full. Once it's done, cut the thread and take out the bobbin. With the bobbin running clockwise, place it into the bobbin case. Pass the thread through the slit, under the tension spring, and then out the opening. Place the bobbin back into the machine, click it in place, and lower the plate. Trim and remove the thread from the bobbin winder guide. Have the needle up and then switch off the power before threading the machine. Lift the presser foot to create some space between the tension discs. Start by threading through a couple of holes in this guide and then up and in between the tension discs. Now come down and up and around between those tension discs and then over this little take-up spring. Then down under this guide, in between this guide, and then up into the slot of the take-up lever. Then back down into this guide again, then in this guide, and into that needle bar hook. To use the needle threader, lower the presser foot and again make sure your needle is up. Push the lever all the way down, then pass the thread underneath the back guide and then in between this white slot. Hold the thread taut and then release the lever and the thread at the same time. Unlike domestic machines, it's going to thread the needle from left to right. It might take you a few tries before you finally get it. I'll just show you once again, nice and slow. When you push right down on the lever, it pulls down on some thread and there's a teeny tiny hook that goes through the eye. When the thread is placed on the guides, it's in a position so that when you release the lever and the thread, the hook is going to grab it and pull it through the needle. I really love not having to strain my eyes when threading. To draw up the bobbin thread, hold on to the needle thread, hit the needle up-down button twice. This will bring up the bobbin thread to the top. Let's do some stitching on 2 layers of quilting cotton. I'll do a couple of stitches, reverse a couple of stitches, and then sew at the slowest speed. This is as fast as it will go, no matter how hard you press down on the pedal. This is medium speed. And this is the fastest, which is 1500 stitches per minute. You can see even at this speed, the machine isn't moving around on the table. Again, this machine only does straight stitching, so there's no zigzags or decorative stitches. Having the knee lift makes it really convenient to move your work around without having to let go of it. Here I'm sewing with the longest stitch length, which is great for basting. I'm now folding the fabric 5 times so that I have 12 layers. And it's stitched through that with ease. I've changed to some heavier jean thread to stitch some denim. Then I've folded it into 6 layers. Then into 8. To change the needle, turn the power off, have the presser foot down and the needle up. Loosen the needle clamp screw and pull it down and out. When replacing the needle, make sure the flat side is facing to the right and you've pushed it all the way up before tightening the screw. When oiling your machine, you'll be putting a couple of drops down here, and then at the top, here, 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 and here. There's also a little door on the bottom to clean inside or if you drop your bobbin. Now let's try some of the different presser feet. To be safe, turn off the power first. Loosen the screw and remove it completely for the walking foot. Put this part onto the presser bar and the forked portion onto the needle bar. Carefully angle it in and tighten in the screw. Turn the pressure regulator to low. When sewing thicker fabrics like this vinyl, it produces nice, even stitches. Next, we'll install the zipper foot that you can adjust from side to side. Line up the opening with the hole in the plate before tightening the back screw. Then double check everything's aligned. This foot allows you to attach a zipper by sewing right beside the teeth. You can also use it to install invisible zippers. This foot is also great for making your own piping. You'll be able to stitch the fabric really close to the cording. This is the right compensating 1/4 inch foot. On the right, there's a longer and thicker guide on a spring. So when you're sewing uneven thicknesses, you can easily guide the seam along this inner edge. This makes getting a perfect 1/4 inch top stitch along any edge so much easier. You might be thinking, I can just use a magnetic edge guide, but you can't use those guides when you're stitching on top of other fabric, and because it's attached to the foot, there's no risk of movement. The spiral in the center of this small rolled hem foot folds the edge of lightweight fabric, giving you a beautifully finished hem. Start by making 2 small folds on the edge and place it under the foot. Position the needle so it's just to the right of the left fold and sew a couple of stitches. Now carefully maneuver the edge of the fabric so that it wraps around the spiral. Feed in the edge a couple of inches at a time, fold it over about the width of the opening. The raw edge is turned in as you're sewing, giving you a really neat rolled hem. Yes, you can do this with just the standard foot, but it does take a bit of practice and skill to achieve the same result. To add a quilting foot, start by lowering the feed dogs. Adjust the pressure to low and the stitch length to 0. Put the plate on the needle clamp screw, insert the installing portion into the presser bar, and tighten the screw in the presser foot. Now I'm not a quilter, but I'll try my best with this quilt sandwich. The stitches came out nice and neat on both sides. As I mentioned earlier, if you purchase this machine using my special link, you'll receive these 13 industrial feet as a bonus gift, currently valued at $99. This includes a standard presser foot, a short standard presser foot, an invisible zipper foot, a smooth Teflon foot, a gathering or shearing foot, a narrow zipper foot, a left and right narrow zipper foot, an open right zipper foot, and an open left zipper foot, a 1/32 of an inch compensating foot, a narrow 1/32 of an inch compensating foot, and also a Teflon ring foot. We'll have a look at all these different feet in a future video. After spending many years working with industrial machinery, I have to say this compact portable machine is seriously impressive and a joy to use. Let me know down in the comments if you have one and what your experience has been. Thanks again for watching. Take care and happy sewing.